Hi, and welcome to the.
Hi, was that?
Okay, it's Kasta to repeat it.
I'm sorry. I was just confirming whether that was Konika or not.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think it's about time that we start. Hi, we're ESL NSUP. I'm Astatva, and today moderating with me would be Manasvi, again from ESL, and we're hosting a podcast, a session on digital transformation and mental health. So, for that matter, per se, we have. Please go ahead, Konika. Do introduce yourself.
Uh, Sorry, I wasn't able to hear you what you just said because you just. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. Can you please repeat it?
Oh, yeah, I'm just asking you for a basic introduction for
Okay.
everyone who's present.
Okay, so I am the CEO and the founder of the company that is the Unknowns Agency. So we are the company that looks after the digital marketing and the advertisement part, but not for the brands, but for the agencies only. So we support them and help them for the people and the work. So our main clients are not from India, especially. So we serve the people apart from India, countries like USA, UK, Dubai, UAE. So that's it.
So I wouldn't be wrong if I call what you do as perhaps consultancy, right?
No, it's not consultancy. So we do all the work that an agency does, but we do it for agencies. So they get the work and they share it with us, and we help them with that.
Okay, that's great. And delving right into what we've gathered here for the congregation, that's digital transformation primarily. And if you could just give us a briefing of digital transformation and how it took its shape and form for you personally, how it came to being for you, what pushed you into working for this particular cause.
Okay, so for me, digital transformation is about solving problems with the help of technology. As I discussed with you people as well on the call that we had passed. So most of the people think that it is spending more time and it's about most time spending more time on technology, which is actually a myth, as I told you people as well. So digital transformation is not about using it excessively, but how smart you use it. I mean, how smart you use it to help yourself. I mean, how to make your life simpler.
Okay, so it's use of technology more in a congruous sense than a quantitative sense is what you're implying, right? And perhaps this is a misconception even
Yes.
I had, that we're claiming that we're using more of technology, but you clarified it that it's using it in a sense of that's more congruous, that's more appropriate, that's more qualitative, and
Yes.
that's perhaps what we wanted to discuss in this particular briefing. And in your article, and I would urge everyone who's present here that you should read Konika's article on LinkedIn. I'll send you the link on the comments right now. It can act as a good dive into what digital transformation is, and wherein you talk about that there are parameters of transformation that are beyond a website or iPads that an employer offer to their employees, and perhaps you would like to delve into that as well. That what are the parameters or factors beyond these certain amenities?
Okay, so as I just explained it to you, that it is about solving more problems with the help of technology. And technology here can be anything. I mean, from a very basic as WhatsApp and as bigger as tracking your customers everywhere they go through. I mean, they travel or the applications they use. I mean, everywhere. So, and manipulating their data to understand what exactly they need. I mean, let's say you search on Google something that I want to buy something, okay? Then you go to Instagram or somewhere other, I mean, let's say Facebook, then you can see the ads in your feeds, if I'm not wrong. So these are the ways that companies are trying to use technology and making easy for customer to get what they want.
So gathering and perhaps studying a data, a certain set of data
Yeah,
in order to improve user experience.
yes. It's not just about user experience. I mean, it's more than that as well. I mean, uh, most of the people, I would tell you that most of the people are really afraid of sharing data. Hello.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
So they, I mean, even my friends or you people, I mean, they everybody talks about that. You should not share data with the company, but it depends on who's using your data, how smartly, and are they using it for the right cause or the wrong cause. I mean, why Google use your data, why let's say Amazon use your data. I mean, they help us and provide us with better information and better products, and they understand us. I mean, they use our data to understand what we need, not to use it against us. So it's
There has been a small interruption. I think Konika accidentally left the meeting. We'll get her to join it again.
hello, hello.
Yeah, you're audible. You're audible. I think you
Sorry, my
accidentally left.
actually network issue. Hello.
It's everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. It's
Okay, so
Delhi.
where we
We were when you were discussing where companies collect data and why we should entrust them with perhaps personal details.
Yeah, so my idea was it's not bad to share your data, but it depends on with whom you are sharing it and what is the reason behind it. I mean, why they want to have your data. It's okay to share your data, but for your good use only. I mean, if they do not get our data, then they won't understand what we actually require. And let's say, let me give an example. So you wanna buy something, and when you search on internet, you don't get. I mean, you type something and you do not get what you want. You get every possible product there is on internet. Then would you feel nice, or would you go forward to select or search for more?
Uh, I wasn't able to catch your question. I'm very sorry.
Okay, so I'm saying that if you Google something, I mean, you want to buy something and you Google on the internet that I want to buy this, and instead of coming the results coming out with only what you want, it comes out with everything you have. I mean, everything they
Okay.
have on internet on Google. Then would you like to proceed with that? I mean, would you go forward and search for your product
Certainly
on
not.
that?
Certainly not. I think if data just gets thrown at you in a haphazard manner, that certainly throws you off.
Yes, so you won't like that. But now Google has that. I mean, they know what you're searching for, so they know the keyword, and then they refine it, and they come back with the exact thing you want, right?
Right.
So that's what you like. Then you will proceed and you will go for the links, whatever they are there, and then you will like that. I mean, then you will go move forward. But not if the situation is other way around. The situation I just explained
Okay.
before. So that's why it's good to share, but with the people who are using it for your good use only.
All right. I think data collection is much more an ethical issue, and I think it requires a higher plane of thought. But you're not wrong in saying so. And perhaps I mean, it certainly irks a curiosity, and I would like to ask on behalf of perhaps everyone present here who has an idea they want to work upon, that can this certain method of, I mean, it would certainly work for a person to expand their ideas. And do you have a few suggestions, just a few suggestions as to how this particular method, this particular methodology can help a budding idea?
Which you are talking about with methodology?
This particular methodology of collecting data and acting over it, studying it, to study customer patterns.
Yes. So it does. I mean, right now it's so let me give you an example that there is a job for this only. I mean, you know the data science. Data science thing is exactly for this. So you learn the data and you act over it. I mean, there are people who are working on this. So that this is what you need to understand. But data is not just about Excel or just about the dashboards. It's more than that. I mean, you have the data in Excel and the dashboard, but if you are unable to use or understand it, there is no point of doing that. I mean, you can use multiple formulas to get the idea of what it is, but you need to know first what you exactly want. I mean, let's say you have a data of your customer. Let's say Amazon. So you have a customer there who's searching for a pen. Okay. So if you go, your customer is searching for a pen, and you have the data. I mean, let's say your customer searched on Amazon that I need a pen. Okay. So now the answer comes in then would be for the pen, right? And once it goes to the company, what they do is they have the data for all the products. But now understanding why that customer was searching for that particular thing. Hello.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So that why the customer was actually searching for that, and what were the reasons. So that's what we call understanding the data, the reasons behind customer needs. I mean, why they need it, and how frequent they need the things. These are the certain questions that we ask while researching the data.
Okay.
For the customers or anyone.
I guess a better understanding of data sciences is what perhaps can help a burgeoning idea. Cool. And again, in your article, you again talk of there's a radical rethinking that's required. I mean, semantically, radical is quite a heavyweight word. And if you would again talk over this for a bit, that what perhaps is this radical rethinking that's required in an organization? Because of course, it's something that an employer uses than an employee. So what perhaps is this radical change, radical rethinking that you assert that's needed within digital?
Mm-hmm. So digital transformation just cannot happen in a day or two. I mean, it actually requires the whole organization to change at every level. I mean, especially for the big organization, it's quite difficult. Replacing something new with something that people have been using for 20 years or 10 years, I mean, requires people to train on them. I mean, if they're introducing a new product, people need to get trained, and give organization needs to give some time to the people to understand. I mean, how it is going to happen. I mean, making it a habit. So it takes time for people to understand. Training is the most important problem right now people faces. I mean, even I faced it while introducing new product. That, I mean, what happened before is, let's say we used to get the customers data and we used to save it on Excel. So that was there was a person who used to do this. So he used to get the data in Excel and he used to copy it to the, so he used to get the data from their dashboard and he used to copy it to the Excel. So we then write a query, and you can say the script to automate it, to make it happen every day by itself. But somebody needs to understand how to write that query, and people needs to learn that how it happens. So that's something that for me it's easier, because my organization right now is not that big. But for the organization that has thousands of people, requires a lot of time and energy for to make people understand that that's how we can do it.
Okay. It will certainly take a good amount of time and a good amount of effort to perhaps come to fruition. And I would right now go ahead and paste the link of the article in the text box, and wherein again, I mean, we're only following what the article just said, that you talk about a data set from Gartner, Forrester, and IDC, that companies, like huge heavyweight companies, are still behind the curve on implementing digital transformation, on implementing such protocols that you're talking of. And what are such implications? What are such implications when you realize that, like, मेरे को तो हर साल नया iPhone दिख रहा है, but when you see that internally the company is still behind this certain tending towards transforming themselves completely digitally. What's the implication?
I mean, so there are many problems that that companies face while transforming themselves digitally, because I mean it requires a lot of time. With that, it requires a lot of amount of energy and plus money. I mean, money is the main thing here, because there are like very few organizations that are at that level that they can spend money on this, transforming themselves digitally and making their people learn. That's another level of problem.
Okay, and perhaps this problem can act as an anchor. I mean, it does act like an anchor.
It does. I mean, see, and half of the people doesn't even know that they can make things easier with the help of technology. And especially in India, if you see, if the example we had at that time, we were having the call that the wholesale market industry. So they do not even know that they can go online and sell their products there. They're still there sitting at their shop and selling their products from that place only. They are not using it, and there are the city side has, I mean, they have the understanding of it more precisely, but not at the lower level. I would say they do not know how to use it, and that counts to, I mean, somewhere around 80% of the people of India. I would say the very few people who understands the actual need of technology and making it use to help themselves to make things faster, and it actually does. I mean, but it's difficult to make them understand. I mean, if you even tell them that this can happen, they won't even believe you and won't even feel like spending money over it.
And I think, considering the pandemic, it's a good time for people to actually reevaluate whether they want to spend over transforming their businesses digitally or not. We'll of course get into that later on. And again, like you just said, the implications actually, they act as it actually acts like an anchor, that they hold back huge businesses from turning towards digital algorithms and mechanisms to perhaps prosper. Furthermore, you talk of 4 pillars for a successful digital transformation, wherein there's experience, operational, business, and cultural. And just a gist of these pillars, and how, if these are actually strengthened, how they can help digital transforming a MNC or an organization.
Okay, so first, as you said, first is experience transformation.
Yeah.
So it is more about how to create more relevant and more personalized experience for our customers. I mean, improving customer understanding, and now we do it with analytics. As I just explained you with the example, I mean, we need to understand what customer really wants, what interests them more, because now customers are becoming very smart. I mean, if I want to buy something, I'll first Google it. I mean, what product is better, what company or brand is better for me, what is, and I'll compare the price as well, what is better, and it comes in lesser price. So we are becoming smart. So companies needs to understand and make it more personal for the people, and this will connect you with customer as well. And that's what is happening right now. That's how companies or big organizations are using the customers data and making it easier for people to choose what they actually want.
And the next one being operational.
Okay, so operational for me is like to make company better from the inside, by using data and technology to, I mean, to accelerate more and to accelerate more and remove processes. I mean, ultimately remove barriers that exist. I mean, what we do is that I just gave you an example of the script that that help the data to transfer from dashboard to Excel by itself. And we never required a person for that. So that was something we call automation for we can use it for every day-to-day task which is recurring. We do not need to sit for it and copy paste everything. If I'll go with the example, we need to find the ways that we need to find the ways that can help us to decrease the time we spent on the things that can happen with the help of technology, and spend that time to something that can be more relevant to us or for the organization as well. And for now, if I'll give you an example, what is happening, work from home. So that is something that we have always been talking about in the big organization. It has always been there. So you can work anytime and anywhere. And that just
Yeah.
happened because of this pandemic.
And there's a certain specialization of yours within AI and machine learning. And I mean, can you use that in this particular operational transformation pillar?
So actually, yes. So when I talked about automation as well, that was actually because of the script, and that is machine learning. Machine learning is when a machine behaves like more human. They understand it. And even I gave you the example of that understanding the customer data. What it does is, so for the first time you search for something, and you didn't go for it, then it understands that you don't like this product. So your data is there with the Amazon. They understand it that this person doesn't like this thing, and whatever comes under the price of it. There are certain parameters they have there, let's say. And by the next time I search for that, they won't show me that product. Then that's what we call machine learning. That it learned that you do not like this, and it learned that which would be better for you to show.
Okay, acknowledged, heartfully reciprocated. And again, the latter two, business and cultural transformations.
So this is about how to create disruption within the company before external factors do. Digitally modifying your business, as we have already discussed, and how can we digitally modify our business by, so before we do not even used to use email or Skype or let's say Zoom. We were not having these things, to connect with the people. Now we have these, we connect, we can sit at home and we can talk. So these are the things that requires, to for the business to add, for the, even that automation thing that requires business to add. These are the things that will save their time, and again make them use that time to something which is more relevant to them.
हेलो गाइस, कुछ हो गया क्या? किसी की ऑडियो नहीं आ रही है?
Include our segment of digital transformation, and if anyone has a question, do go ahead. I mean, it's all open. Firstly, I think Chirag personally asked me that, just a second, and how would we know that to entrust a company with our data? How would we know that it's appropriate, that they won't make any misuse of it?
See, you cannot say that, man. You do not know. But so even if we do not even care, if I'll tell you exactly. So what happens is, whenever you log into something and you sign up somewhere, they ask you, I agree. If you know the form, there is a form. I agree. Before you click on that, I agree, we do not even read that. People are talking about this, that we do not want to share our data, but they do not care. It's just the talk of the town, but nobody actually ever cared. It's just somebody's talking about it, and other people are also. But if you'll read that data, that form or whatever the things are there, you'll understand how they're going to use your data. So they always keep everything on their form, that how we're going to use it, where it is going to go. They are going to have it everywhere. That's how you can learn or understand that how it is going to be used.
Okay. Please. Go ahead. I think I interrupted you.
No. You can say what you were saying.
So I was just saying, if there are any other queries, please go ahead. I'm sure you guys have ideas you want to work upon, startup ideas, and we have a learned person with us, and you can definitely ask how you can use your social media and your digital media congruously and appropriately. We'll wait for a few minutes for you to get comfortable and for you to ask.
Guys, please feel free to ask anything, any questions you have, anything which is not clear.
I
And if
mean, it
not,
is.
now you can ask. Yeah, please go ahead.
So if your question is not about digital transformation, it is about something else as well. If I can help you, you can come up with the question.
And if not, now we have a segment on mental health right after this. You can take your time, you can frame it. If no queries, then Manasvi, please go ahead and proceed with the mental health segment. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So, Kanika, my first question would be that when we talk about digital transformation, so what our generation think about digital transformation is that we promote our businesses or our talents on social media, and then doing that we spend like around maybe 5 hours or even more than that just on social media and just sticking up to on our phones or our laptops. So are we going towards digital transformation at the cost of our health, and you can say at the cost of our being non-social so much in the real life?
So, Manusvi, I think being social before was always about meeting people. Now we have switched it to social media. Even if we want to wish somebody, we choose social media instead of going in person to meet people. That's what we have changed. It was never on technology. We all just curse technology to be here, which is wrong. I think technology is here to help people and it is here for that, and it is us who are making it worse for us by spending more time on it. Even if I would say, I'll give you an example. Let's say connecting with people and sharing our thoughts. Before, we used to meet in person, as I just said. We used to have fruitful conversation, but then we were able to share it with very limited amount of people. I mean, we had very limited amount of time as well, and it takes time to go to somebody, see someone personally, and tell them what we thought, what we think, and what we have to talk about. But now we have social media platforms, so our conversation from being person to person, it shifted to platform. So from one post, we can reach hundred and thousand of people at once. That's how technology helped us to reduce our time. Sorry.
No, nothing. You can go ahead.
Okay. So it helped here. It reduced our time, but what we are doing right now is we do everything on social media platform. I mean, what we do when we hardly see people, what we do is we message them on WhatsApp or we message them on Instagram. And even if so, what we do is, if we have work on social media, even if you just said like that, we want to promote ourselves, it won't take 100, I mean, like 100 of hours. I mean, if you want to promote yourself, you'll post, and once you receive the comment and you reply, or you'll see likes. But what we does is we just keep on like opening the application again and again in very frequent manner. I mean, we spend 5 years sorry 5 hours instead of 1 hour. I mean, it might take 1 hour maximum, I would say, but we spend 5 hours on checking our feeds. So, I mean, we open the application, we check our post, see, oh, okay, we have the likes, and then we go to the feeds. We go on and on and on, we check it. I mean, that is up on us, we are using it.
So
It's not the
basically, we are
technology.
getting obsessed with the gadgets
Yes.
and not using it in a right manner.
Yes, if we can, what we can do is we can check the post. Okay, we have this much amount of like, we have a comment, we can reply, and we can keep it aside. It's not required to use it for the next 4 hours as well. It's us, we are using it excessively. It's not the technology. Technology is fine.
Okay. So, Konika, tell me the methods what we used to we can use to get away from all of this. Like very practical methods. I'm
Hmm.
not saying
Okay.
that you like things we can actually practice and we can take into account.
Okay. So, as I just said, gadgets are, using them is never wrong. I mean, technology is good, but the important part here is how much we use it. I mean, it was invented so that we can save our time and use that time to more valuable things. But sometimes some things which is very different from the reality. I mean, that's not what happens exactly. We just had a conversation about it, and we are the humans. I mean, we have the ability to not to do something that we are being told to do, even if it is good for us. So coming to the question, how to stop you getting addicted to it is something. I mean, we are very little. I mean, we are little late for that. But how? I mean, for that, most of already late for that. But if I'll talk about the question here right now we have is, how can we reduce the addiction or the time we spent on it? I mean, how can we stop ourselves from using it more and more? So there is a cycle for this. I mean, there is a science behind it which works for every addiction we have. It's not just for the gadgets. So
Okay.
okay. So where it starts? So it starts with the so we have a cycle which starts with the cue, and then routine and the reward. So what happens is, let me give you an example to understand it more precisely. So it is going to be more like an exercise for you all, and I want you all to participate as well, I would say.
Okay,
So
sure.
if you guys, if you guys have a pen or paper, just keep it, just write whatever I'm asking you to. It just keep your thing in your mind. I mean, if you cannot get the paper or pen for now. Should I start?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Or we
So
can just
the
give 2 minutes breather to people if they want. Or can we go ahead?
I mean, we should, I mean, wait for 2 minutes then. Or you can write it on your phone or laptop you're using right now. That's what we can do.
Okay, sure. Go ahead, Konika.
Okay. So first is a cue. I mean, before starting with the cue, let me pick up something, some addiction we have. So let's pick up Instagram. That is something that very common for all of us. So we'll start with the cue. So what makes us pick up the phone and check our feeds? I mean, finding your cue. I mean, what is the cue for you here? Let's say it is you're getting bored, or you have posted something and you want to check out, or fear of missing out. I mean, somebody must have posted something and you want to know about it, or some news, something like that. What it is for you? What makes you pick up the phone? Manasvi, do you know what
Okay.
it is for you?
For me, it is usually because the class is boring and I'm getting bored, so I just check the feed. And to get funny material, that is me to check out memes and relatable quotes. And yeah, usually it is this which
Okay.
makes me check it Instagram again and again.
Okay. So the first one was Q. So we are done with the Q. So Manasi said that she gets bored and then she picks her phone. So next step is routine. Then you follow the routine, that is you pick up the phone and check your account or feeds or so on. And why you pick up the phone? I mean, you get the reward. That is the third thing. You get the satisfaction of you say passing your time or getting more likes or knowing what is happening around you or the life of the people you are connected with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how can we break it? How to not to use your phone so much? I mean, it is not like you tell yourself and then you don't do it. I mean, I'll tell myself, okay, I won't use my phone, and it doesn't happen that way. Obviously, we again pick it up and use it, and it does sounds easy, but it is not. So we have to work on the routine here. We have to follow the same. Uh, we have to follow to have the same reward and the satisfaction we receive after using our phone. So let's say I'm getting bored. So I pick up the phone. So when you're getting bored, do some certain things that makes you feel more engaged with something else. Let's say read a book, which is quite boring, but for me it works. So read a book, go sit with the family, go for a walk. I would say that really works, or something like that. So whenever you feel like you are getting bored, do something that can replace your routine. I mean, using your phone. Whenever you feel like using your phone, get up from that place and go somewhere else or do something else.
Okay.
Okay. So then you have a reward, and that is you're engaging yourself in your free time, and then you do not use your phone. But I won't say that this will happen for like if you'll do it once and it will happen. Okay, fine. From the next time, I'm not going to use phone. No. So it takes time. It takes at least 21 days to get used to any of something new, and 90 days to let it work on the autopilot mode, I would say. So
Okay.
for every addiction you have, start with the cue, know what is making you do that, and then change the routine. Replace the routine with anything. I mean, you have to be disciplined about it, but I mean, you have to force yourself to do something else. Obviously, using your phone is very easy. I mean, it's just next to you and you just need to pick it up. But force yourself doing it for like 21 to 90 days, and then it will become a habit for you.
Okay.
Okay? So
Sure.
that's what from my
Nice exercise, Kanika. I really liked it. At least this is very great for self introspection and all.
Ooh. And why I said that you should write it, then you know how many times you actually did it. You have, I mean, you need to make a note of it. That's why I asked you to pick up a paper. Just make a note of it, and then you'll know how many times you changed. I mean, even if you know, I mean, when you know that you are improving, then you want to do it more. That's how it happens.
Yeah. It's like keeping a note just to get a reality check and to get a
Yes,
motivation as well.
yes, yes.
Okay. So, Konika, we talked about taking up the social media when we are bored, looking up for stuff and that. But there are also people who go to social media just to feel validated and to be seen. Like we all know that attention is one of the basic needs of people, need of
Yes.
human. So, how do we overcome uh, that stuff? Like it's not necessary to be seen by hundreds of people, which it
Mm-hmm.
was not before. Like we used to be within a group of friends and a school and a family, but now it's all about social media and showing off to people. So what
Mm-hmm.
say do you have about and on this topic?
Let's talk. So I'll say that being from the same scenario, I mean, I have been there, done that type of thing. So everyone has their own journey, I would say, and goal, priorities, or whatever we say. Some gets their things at their 20s, some get it done by 40, and some at 60 as well. So we have this very bad habit of comparing ourselves to every successful person on the earth. I mean, everyone we see on the internet, and that's why we feel more like, oh my god, why am I not here, and why I'm not doing it. I mean, we sometimes do not give a shit about, I mean, what, even if we are engineers and the person we are watching is a singer, we'll be like, why am I not like him or her? I mean, even if that person is not from our field, and somewhere the reason of this can be that we've always been hearing this since we were kids from the people around us. But again, let me tell you that especially no one can be you. I mean, you are a unique combination of you. I mean, whatever you get to the table is very different from anybody what they can do. I mean, the combination you have can never be,
Yeah,
can never be. I
it
mean,
cannot
not
be
any.
repeated. We are
Yes,
all
I mean
unique.
unique. But what we do is we compare. I mean, everybody has their own journey. I mean, if I'm doing something right now, it's not necessary that you should also do it. I mean, you are not required to do it. You need to find yourself. I mean, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel energetic? I mean, uh, you know what happens is, I mean, even if you try to do what I'm doing right now, or somebody who motivates you, or not even motivation, I would say makes you feel jealous. I would say that
Okay.
that's a very harsh word, but still.
Yeah, I was
So
getting to it. It was like being jealous and being see. Actually, it's about seeing yourself as nothing compared to other people.
yes, but everyone has their own journey for this. You cannot ever compare yourself with somebody, because I mean, I started somewhere else, and I also been through a lot of things. Then I am here. Then I reached here, and you might be on the starting point of your work life. I mean, your career. I mean, it's not required. And the point here I want to say is that understand first yourself that what you actually want, because then only you can actually focus on being what where you actually want to reach. I mean, if you want to be somewhere, you need to understand what you actually want, and then only you can give 100%. If I am right now coding, let's say I like to code, I like maths, it's not required for everyone to understand it and like it as well. But if somebody tries to be like me, and somebody likes tries to do more of maths, and still they do not like it, they'll do it 100 times, or they'll be doing it all their life, but it cannot be me. But if they like to dance, let's say,
Yeah.
then they might, if they put their time or efforts there, they might be somewhere more than where I am right now. So choose wisely what you actually like, and you do not need to be, I mean, it's not required for you to understand in the first way. I mean, explore yourself, give yourself some time, try to understand. I mean, do certain different things. You have time. You guys are in college, I would say. So you have time, explore the things, understand that this actually works for me, and this actually is something what I like, and go for it. Even whatever people around you say it makes you money or not, you will be able to do it. You will be able to reach there. Just give yourself some time and try to do something that you actually like. Don't go
Okay.
with the people on social media. They all have their journey, and some people are just posting lies. I mean, I will be very much honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, and the first validation you require is of yourself. If
Yeah,
you are
sure.
happy in yourself, then only you can move forward and make other people happy. So make yourself happy first.
Yeah, obviously, that's the thing we should all live by. So,
Mm.
Konika, we talked about someone being good at coding and someone else
Mm.
being good at dancing rather than coding. But
Mm.
this is about interest and passion, we can say. But
Yeah.
when we get into career line, then seeing our peers doing well also strikes a jealousy part. Or
Oh.
say like I am a tech student and I am uh, I'm a tech student and I have to code. I mean, for a career, I have to code.
Yes.
Still, there is this thing where people are better than me, and where people are not, maybe not that much, but I'm not at the top. So still, it gets you in that jealousy streak, or something which I cannot get into words. But how do I handle my emotions seeing someone else going on the top? Basically, I'm asking that.
So let me tell you this, Manasvi, that jealousy is not bad until or unless it is more about competition. I mean, it is good if you have a feeling of competition. It is good having that energy, but using that energy in the wrong direction is wrong. I mean, using it for your growth is good, but you sitting at a place idle and overthinking is not something you should do. Use that energy in something good. Try to make yourself better. I mean, and one thing I'm still telling you, that you said that is passion separate. No, that's not how it is. I mean, passion and career is the same thing for me. For it should be for everyone. You should do something that you actually like. I mean, then only you can put your 100%. I mean, if you do not like coding, don't go for it, because coding, I'm being a coder. I mean, I have started my career as a software engineer, and being a coder actually requires you to like it. I mean, you need to put your logics inside that. I mean, right before writing, you need to understand that what it actually requires. I mean, you cannot do it. I mean, you do not like to eat something, you cannot put, and if you are forced to do that, how much, I mean, efforts people need to make. I mean, if you like something, you'll pick it up and you'll eat it. And if you do not like it, somebody is pushing it in your mouth, and that
Yeah.
requires more energy, and it won't end up good. So
Yeah.
that's more like for the life as well. If you like something, go for it. No matter what people think, I mean, it is your life. You know what is better for you. And now you're, you're 20, 21, or you are at that age that you can decide and understand that.
Yeah, I get your point and I surely understand that. But as a student, as a person at my age, and many of my peers agree and have the same question, that we are exploring. It's like I am trying new stuff, that's for sure, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying everything. So I need something to hold on to, like as a backup, you can say. And
Uh,
uh, even when I have that backup, which it's like I don't hate it, I don't love it.
okay.
I
So,
supposedly we are talking about coding, so I don't hate coding. I am pretty much good at it, but I don't love it. Yet I do not
okay.
know anything which I do love.
Okay, so it's not so you are not that age that you will I just told you that you cannot decide. I mean, it takes time for you to understand who you are. It's okay to not to know that what you actually like right now. I mean, I have been like that. You know, I have been dancing for 9 years and suddenly I turned into the software engineering and I still like it because I was exploring at that time. And I mean, I still love dance, still it's there in me, and still I am the same person. But then I understand what makes me more happier to take it up as a career. I like dance as doing it sometimes when I feel bad or happy. I mean, I am having certain amount of emotions. But if you say that, what so you what was your exact question, Manasvi?
So my question was that we know that we have a career and we have things that we like and we do not like. How do we take up it as a career? Like you talked about taking your passion as a career, but that's not
Mhm.
exactly very easy to take upon.
It is. It
Sometimes,
is.
okay.
So I understand. So let me give you an example. So what you need to do is, let's say you have a passion. So and you have 2 years time span right now even. As I had a word with you, you are in second year. So you have 2 years. So what you can do right now is talk to the people where you want to reach. I mean, who are already there, who knows what it takes and how it is gonna be there, being in that actual position, doing that what you exactly think right now you want to be somewhere. If talk to them, have a word with them, tell them that I want to do this and what kind of experience it is going to be. Ask them, they'll tell you how it is going to be, and work for that and you will be there. I mean, put your efforts. I mean, just talk to the people around you, not around you I would say exactly, because they are going to be similar, but to the people. I mean, you have social media platform, use it in that direction. Connect with the people. They'll not, I mean, obviously not everybody will reply to you, but most of the people will. I mean, that's how it happens. Connect with them, understand what it requires to be there, work on yourself. If you really like it, you will be able to make it.
Yeah,
Nothing is impossible.
yeah, but that's the point, right? Some
Mm.
people do like it, and there are also things which we do like yet are not good at.
Okay,
And
so you
we,
can learn them. You need to put efforts. I mean, you need to put efforts. I mean, if you want something, it's not like I like something, but I'm sitting idle. You need to put efforts. I mean, I am literally working day and night. I don't take leave, but I like what I'm doing. And it's never like if you like something and it is gonna be easy. It is never gonna be easy. If you want to pursue something, you need to put efforts. It's just that you will like what you are doing. There is the only difference.
like, you'd love to work on it, you'll not get bored and you'll not get
Huh.
demotivated by it.
Demotivated. And even if multiple people are saying that this is not good, just don't go with them. I mean, I'm the life example for that. People used to say a lot of things, but now I know what, because you need to believe in yourself. I mean, you know what you are doing and you will be responsible for you're gonna be. I
Yeah.
mean, nobody's so people are gonna talk now, they have time for that, but once you are somewhere, they all be praising you for what you have done. I'm literally telling you that happens. So believe in you and understand yourself first. You need to put your spare some time for that. understand yourself, what you actually want. If try something, if it doesn't work, it's okay, go for something else, you have time. But
Okay.
ending up somewhere what you don't like is not good.
Yeah, sure. We should always love what we do. Only then it'll make us happy.
I mean, it's your life, yeah. I mean, why you want to be? I mean, you spend I spend, I mean, a whole day, but most of the people spend 8 to 10 hours minimum in their offices. And if half of the day you are spending somewhere you don't like, what's the point of living that kind of life?
Yeah, already taken into point. Also, Kunika, when we are in college, we have like so many opportunities in our hand. We have so many options to explore. And being in an engineering college, you have even vast opportunities and even vast, uh, you can say, lines of things which we can explore. So, how do I set my mind up to what to take next and what to go ahead with and what not to? Because see, I can create a career out of my passion only when I devote my time as well.
True, true.
And how do I manage things between exploring and yet devoting to my time to some learning something?
So again, I would say that never lose an opportunity. If you have an opportunity, but because you never know what and where it is going to land you. I mean, you never know that you might like it. And I would say that I'm the live example for this. I was what you know right now, and somewhere I thought that I was somebody who never thought of coming to this industry, working on the computers at all. I mean, I never liked it in the starting. I mean, when I was dancing, but here I am doing having my own organization, and this is the outcome of the opportunity came in my way out of nowhere, and I said yes to that. And I'm not saying that every opportunity is gonna end up to a happy place. Maybe it won't. I mean, but you won't you won't know until you actually don't get into it. But what if you have multiple opportunities, as you asked, at the same time? Then which one to choose is a question. So make a list and use 3 parameters. That's what I do. That how money, happiness, and growth. See which opportunity is serving you, and from all these parameters, which is the priority for you? I mean, money, happiness, and growth. So what is
Okay.
the priority for you here? Is it money, is it happiness, or is it growth? And which opportunity from all those is serving you with what? And then
Okay.
you will have your answer.
Yeah, I mean, I found this pretty better than the pros and cons list, because even though I make a pros and cons list within myself, like with my stuff and things I am having trouble to in choosing, it doesn't get me to a constrict, you can say, decision. But this parameter is different. It's like you are rating and then you are prioritizing yourself and your like things which you want to prioritize. So yeah, it's
True.
good. Money, happiness, and growth.
Happiness and growth.
Yeah, that's really nice. um,
Thank you.
so um, again, coming to the topics we explore, but we definitely face rejections and failures, and not just in our career but in our daily life as well, in our relationships, in our day to, you can say, things we want, and like everyday life relationships with people, and with our job, with our commitments. It happens sometimes due to circumstances we are not able to make our commitments. So how do we face rejection and commitments, and uh, how, like, failures, and for the things we have set a goal for?
So rejection is a part of the process. I mean, I won't say that you should be happy about it and blah blah blah. What people say that you should be happy that you have been you are going through rejection and man, it's not like that. You are feeling bad and you are feeling like crying. Do it. I mean, I'm not saying that you should not feel bad. It's a feeling. Take it out. Sleep over it. Give it a day. But that's it. I mean, now you know what you should not be doing. work on the next thing you have. Life is all about moving on. I mean, if you have some rejection, face it, feel it, know what it was, what you are not supposed to do, and learn from it and move on. Give it some time, and move on. If you want to win the life, then learn how to move on. That's what life is all about, I would say.
Yeah, but sometimes it happens that it has been a very long period set goal, you can say, and we are not able to achieve that. And
I mean,
not only achieve that, but what is even more harder is that we are not able to achieve that due to some other person's mistake or some circumstances which were not up to us. And
so
all I can think of is that I regret it, and I worked so hard for it. I devoted my 12 hours a day for it. It didn't work out. And all I can think about is I could have done so much better in that time. I could have devoted it somewhere else. Or why, or the question which stuck is, why me?
why me? So now it has happened, Manasvi. I mean, you cannot do something about it. What you can do is you can switch to something else. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. You cannot do. I mean, that happens with me as well. Sometimes I want to land some client and it didn't happen. I mean, it happened so many times with me as well. But what I do is I learn what I didn't do. And it's so it never happens that you cannot try it again. Try again. If it is so much important to you, never back down then. Go for it again. Try again. Give better time. I mean, now you know what you are not supposed to do. Make a list again. See what you require more. And the next time you will be better when you try to do it. And you might achieve that.
Okay.
But don't sit down and think of it. Overthinking is something that has been killing all of us. Just stop there. If you are thinking about it, switch to what's the next thing you can do.
Yeah, but I think we all say that we should not overthink again, but it's easier said than done.
I
Like,
know, but what you see, what I said, that give things time. It won't heal in a day or two. I mean, but ye nahi ki you are sitting over it crying every day. So generally, I mean, you can devote that time to something else. And what you can do is when you are thinking, just push yourself to do something else and try to do it again and again, and it will just swipe out from your mind. That what happens. I mean, that's also a science, that what I have read.
okay. So that was an amazing talk. I'd like to wrap it up here.
Okay.
It's been amazing to have you, and really, especially seeing into my like career section and mental health section, it's like, yeah, we can always deal with it in an optimistic way. And
It
for
never happens though.
again, I'd like to say that I really liked your that three priority theory:
Thank
money,
you.
happiness, and growth. That was seriously amazing and very like I'll imply it in my life.
Great. I mean, I really would love to know that. I mean, if it helps you, it works for you, it's great. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So thank you for
And
joining us. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
and thanks for having me. And I really like to share my thoughts over whatever we had conversation about. And if somebody on the group right now whosoever is on the call can connect with me on LinkedIn, on any platform, if you face any problem, you want to know something more than this call, I'm there. I'll answer. That's it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I think we all gathered a lot from this. Thank you.
Were you there, Astitwa?
I was there. I was listening to everything. I gathered that there are infinite possibilities and we have to keep going. We have to spiral out. I did gather that.
Okay.
I was present throughout the session.
Okay, I was just making fun.
So, thank you. It was great having you, genuinely.
It was great coming to this platform, letting people know that there's a lot more that they can do. And I'm still saying that never back down for what you love. I mean, if you really like something, go for it, because it will happen someday. Not now, maybe not in 1 year or 2 year, but it will, because whenever you work for something, you get it. I mean, that I am the live example for it, and I have people who are there who have done a lot. I mean, it's not a story or something, it is the real thing. But you have to put efforts. I mean, you cannot just think of it and sit around. That's not happens. Then don't come to me, please. I'm not there then.
No, certainly that's correct. That's articulate. That's really well said. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Guys, if any
Thanks for
of you
joining us, guys. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
guys, if any of you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. I tried to cover up as many as I could, which you already sent in advance. But if anything is left, please go ahead and ask.
May I ask something?
Sure,
Hello.
Vidush, sure, go on.
Yeah.
So ma'am, you and Manasvi, ma'am, you both were talking about the thing like that we should try to do what we like and try to have a passion in this. Ma'am, I had a similar doubt, ma'am. I am in second year right now. I mean, what exactly can I do to explore myself? I mean, I don't get an inner feeling that oh, this thing makes me happy or something. It's just a neutral emotion. Ki I like just Manasvi talked about coding. Ki ki matlab, it's not that bad, but it's not that good also. So, ma'am, what can I do so that my body gives me a message that I like this thing, so I can make a career in that? What can I
Um,
exactly do to explore myself?
So see, there must be something, three, four, or one thing that you must have been doing since your childhood that you actually like. It can be anything. I mean, for me, it was dance. I mean, if I'll be very honest, is there anything like that for you?
Ma'am,
Nothing. I mean,
ma'am,
I'm
like
asking you.
talking
It's not.
about in no, not from childhood, ma'am. I just ma'am enjoyed my life, ma'am. Talking to family, visiting, playing. I didn't have as such a goal or such, ma'am. In these 2 years, first and second year of college, ma'am, I have tried web development and machine learning, but ma'am, still I don't get I mean an inner voice ki chalo I want to make a career or passion this.
See, passion, if I would say, it's not about, so you do not need to be here. I mean, one of my friend, what he is he's a people's person. So he's into management. So he's very good at talking to people. So he never knew that. I mean, he was also into software development. So what he used to do is he used to get to the clients very easily. So then he realized, okay, this is something that I like. Then he explored a lot. I mean, then he started to talking to people, and then he started to connect with the people and the client more. Then company understood it, and they gave that opportunity to him, and that's how he got to know what he wants. And if there is something what, let's say you don't like coding, and that's really okay, because not everybody is supposed to like everything, but then there has to be something. You like to talk, you like to speak, you like to ask people questions, or let's just like Astetu, he likes to write. He is more into content writing, so he knows he likes to write and he feels better about it. I mean, so it's not about you love it, but you like it and you understand it. So important is you understand that thing, that okay, this is something and I know about this, and if I'll explore more and I might do better, go for it and try it. And if it didn't work out, then you have the second thing, something there. Make a list of things that worked for you in the past few years. It's okay if you didn't look for anything when you were a child or you were in school. But now you're in college. Now you do more of things. I mean, you do development, you talk to people, you write. There are societies, being a part of them. So you have so in your college you have societies. Just try to be part of every society of one or the other way. Explore the things that what they have, and see where you are able to connect anyway in one society or for anyone. I mean, for the cultural one or anything. And if you are able to connect with any one of that, then try to see how you can grow in that. You might like talking, let's say. So then see how can you explore that industry. How can you more be talking to people, or you can be teaching people, or you can be a project manager, you can be giving the speech as well. There are so many opportunities. Then connect with the people in the same field, what they are doing. I mean, somebody is only the speaker who is working as a speaker as only. So then connect with that person. Ask them what they did, what was their journey, how they are where they are right now. Then follow their path and take the notes. Understand that. Hello, hello,
Yes, ma'am.
hello. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So if am I able to make you understand, or just do one thing? If not, then what we can do is, do you have my LinkedIn profile? Do you know? Are you connected with me? Hello,
I guess there
hello.
is some network issue because he was trying to say, yet his voice was very low.
You sound so sad.
Just even thought, I
Hello.
guess. Yeah, he's back.
Okay, so hello. He's still
Hello.
hello. Are you there?
Hello. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So were you able to hear me? What I was saying? Hello.
Vidu, if possible, can you please write in the chat box because I guess there is some network issues on your end.
And what you can do is you can do one thing. Connect with me over LinkedIn. If that's possible for you, let's have a chat there and I'll help you there. If that sounds okay to you. Hello? He's on mute if he doesn't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Nishant, for checking my profile. Facing a network issue. Okay. So he's facing a network issue right now. Let's do one thing. Vidu, what you can do is you can connect me over LinkedIn. Then we can have a chat about this. Then you will be more comfortable, I think.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just wait for someone to send it on the chat, or I'll just do it myself. Yeah, it's on the chat. Any more questions, anyone?
I have a question.
Yes, who's this? May I know the name?
Nishant.
Nishant. Oh, hi.
Hi. So my question would be, so Kunika, you choose a very off-stream kind of a job, which was not, mainstream basically. Uh, that was not relating to what you were currently doing, that is engineering. You were into tech, right? So how did you decide at what point you were able to designate that, yes, this is something that I want to go for? Because it is quite difficult for us at this point. Let's say if I talk in personally, so I'm in currently third year. So for me to change stream at this point is a little bit too risky for my side. So how does one decide that they should go for?
Since I was a kid, I always used to love maths. So, but I was never aware of this software engineering that can get me a job to this profile, and I can do what I love. So what happened is I did my bachelor's in mathematics, and I was a professional dancer with that, and I was doing the same thing. But with that, what happened is I got this job interview at the place, and I just went for it, and then I had a word with one person there. So he told me that that's how it happens. I mean, because I was very much confused, so I stopped somebody and I literally asked him that what job is it is going to be, because I never wanted to do any kind of job. I mean, not at least this kind of job. I was so much into dancing. I never had this in mind that I'll do it. That sitting in front of the computer and doing that. So that person told me that this is not just writing codes or doing some language or something like that. It is more about maths. So if you really like maths, then go for it. And that's the only thing that I wanted to know, and I got to know from that person, and I went for the job, and slowly I explored. I mean, I actually sat with all the team there. I mean, we had the SEO team, we had the design team. I sat with everyone and tried to understand that what clicks for me more. I mean, I am good at talking to people as well. I am good at designing as well. I won't lie. I mean, I have been working as a designer as well. I used to do that job as well there. But writing code has always been my love. And whenever I used to do it, I was able to understand and do it faster than anyone else. So that I was like, okay, this is something that I understand. Even if I don't love, then I know that I understand this and I can go for it. And now here I am.
Okay.
Was I able to answer your question exactly, or you want to know something else?
No, I guess
You
that's
can
it.
be okay. And I would
guess
suggest that talk to the people in your industry. If you, wherever you want, if you know where you want to go, then talk to the people in your industry. They give you the exact idea of what it is going to be. And with that, I really want to tell you people that we are planning to start a course to have the to make the students understand that how it is in the actual life working in an organization. So we're going to give you how it happens, how what things we use, what are the platforms we work on, how we connect with the people, communication, everything. So if you want to know more about that, you can connect with me.
sure. Thank you so much, Konika, for this amazing session. And anyone who would like to connect with her, please, we have sent the link of her profile on the chat box itself. So please do connect and have a chat or any doubt you have or whatsoever. And Konika, thank you so much for joining us. Really,
So
it was
I really
amazing
love
to host you.
you, and even I love the session.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Again, another thanks from my side. I think that will do.
And you guys are such a darling. I mean, you both helped me a lot with this and having your time calls. Thank you so much to both of you.
Yeah.
Manasvi
It's
and
the least
Akhtar.
it's the least we could have done, at least in this time
Plus one.
period.
Okay, let's not make it a personal talk and end the session.
Okay, yes, of course.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
everyone for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much, people.
Thank you so much, Nishant.
Yes, you just mentioned.
Okay, I'll just
Okay, so
end
are
the
we done,
session.
guys?
Yeah, we are done. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay.